But even to the end, he sparked joy. What do you love most about baseball? Mays did that. To watch him play, to read the stories about how he played, to look at his glorious statistics, to hear what people say about him, is to be reminded why we love this odd and ancient game in the first place. Yes, Willie Mays has always made kids feel like grown-ups, and grown-ups feel like kids. In the end, isn't that the whole point of baseball? So welcome in to Losses Above Replacement. I'm Splash, joined, as always, by Mac and Alex. How are you guys doing today?
Feeling a lot more somber after hearing that, I'll say that much. But no, the news of his passing actually happened during the final inning of one of the games I was calling last week, and it hit a lot of people real hard right then and there. And it was actually really – I don't know if this was planned at all or if they just did this like impromptu, like if he was planning to come in at this point, but right when like the news of it hits, Boulder brought in a new pitcher in CJ Pino. CJ is a San Francisco native as well, and his father watched Mays get his 2,999th and 3,000th hits. But it was honestly, it was a touching moment. Pino got the outs 1, 2, 3 in the inning, and let's just say that the rest of the time was fairly somber. But it was nice to have a little element of memoriam there at the game. We put together something kind of random on the stream, but it turned out all right, I think. Okay, on the different note, I'm doing good overall. Broadcasting has been so much fun up here in Colorado. Still getting used to the air, though. Say that much. I've been very exhausted a lot lately.
For sure.
Yeah, altitude is, like I said last week, it's pretty brutal. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Much like Alex said, the Willie Mays news obviously was tough right before the Rick Whitfield game too. I think the league has done a great job honoring him. Also, I know last night, as of this recording, the entire Giants team wore number 24, which I think is pretty cool. I'm not sure if I've seen it like set in stone, but I hope they wear a uniform patch too. Because that would be great. I mean, he's a giant of the game, no pun intended there. And I think he's a guy who deserves to have his legacy honored by everyone. But other than that, I got home from Indianapolis on Sunday night. Crazy experience this past weekend. First racing at Masters Nationals, then attending Olympic trials as a spectator. Watching swimming in a football stadium was absolutely insane. And this week, my brother is getting married, so I am flying to California in the morning. I will be gone until the 4th of July. So next week, you probably will not be hearing my voice or seeing me if you're on YouTube. But you will have these two gentlemen to carry my load.
Yep. So glad to hear you guys are having a good time. I'm doing all right. I'm going to Cooperstown this week, so let's
go.
Exciting.
That's awesome. That's sick.
Get a long drive up to upstate New York.
I'm telling you, Cooperstown is a magical place.
Truly, absolutely incredible.
You're going to love it.
I'm ready to hear I guess they don't have bus like they do in Canton, but like I'm ready to hear like the voices, the vibes.
Oh yeah.
Also, Major League Baseball, you need to have a Cooperstown Classic game like the NFL does with the Hall of Fame game. Get like the Rangers and Twins in it this year, the Rockies and the Twins, or the Tigers and the Twins. I don't know. Just have a game connected to Hall of Famers that are going in that class. Like this year, maybe a Jim Leland or Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, Todd Helton. Do that every year. You need to have a Williamsport game, a Cooperstown game, a Rickwood game, and a Field of Dreams game.
Yep.
I agree.
These MLB teams have 81 home games, have 162 total games. That is your biggest strength. There was a tweet thread. I forget who the user was. My apologies. But there was a tweet thread that this is your biggest strength. You can do things that other sports can't do, that you can have these destination games, if you will. And I think it's important. Play some games in Cooperstown. Have a series in Cooperstown. Have a series in Williamsport. So,
100%
with that said, Cooperstown, one guy who could be going to Cooperstown a long time from now is one Paul Skenes of the Pittsburgh Pirates, also known as Livy Dunn's boyfriend. He is probably a top 10 pitcher, if not even higher already. He's made 8 starts. He's thrown about 46 innings, right? He is unbelievable. Unbelievable. He was dominant again against the Rays. He allowed a first pitch home run to Yandy Diaz. After that, it was absolute nails. So, fellas, should Paul Skenes attend the All-Star game?
I mean, if he has the money to buy a ticket, then yeah, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay. That's the Andrew Jones joke with Cooperstown. Oh yeah, he can buy a ticket. Okay, he should be inducted into Cooperstown.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. No, so this is always going to be kind of an odd conversation because everyone has a different feel on it, and it's about what do you value in the All-Star game. And I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't care. I do not care what the values are because this is a game that legitimately has no stakes to it. Except the only stakes go to the players that are playing in the game. Nothing to the teams, nothing to Major League Baseball. It's just a way for Major League Baseball to make a lot of money off of it while also giving the fans something really fun to watch. Which, to be fair, they've done that. And I'm really glad they got rid of the stakes of the World Series home field advantage in it. That was a dumb stipulation.
Yeah, I was not a fan.
Yeah, not a fan of it anymore. When I was young, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Got to have something for the All-Star game. And then I thought about it more, and I'm like, wait, no, this is dumb. So, regardless, yeah, no. This is a hard one purely because it's about what do you value? What do you value when looking at someone who's going to go into the All-Star game? If you're looking at pure talent, he is absolutely an All-Star player. Like Splash said, he's arguably right now top 10, top 15 pitcher in baseball already. But again, I don't want to jump the gun right now. That's in pure ability. But there's also the school of thought that you got to give it to the players that are doing the best that current season. And he is nowhere near the qualified mark. Like you said, he's at 46 of the third innings, and right now the qualified mark for at least him with the Pirates is at 78, I believe. So nowhere close. So it comes down to what do you value? And I'm saying that he deserves to be in because at this point right now, I like to try and find that sweet spot between amazing season and true talent, right? Like, I definitely much more prefer strong season because then you can get some unlikely names in the All-Star game. Like, it's always fun when you see, like a Daniel Vogelbach make it in, or when you see like, I don't know, I was like other just fun names make the team.
I mean, last year's All-Star Game MVP was Elias Diaz.
Exactly. Sadly, no, I was there for that, but that's the thing right now. I definitely lean more towards like better season overall, but this entire thing, the entire All-Star game is about two things: accolades for the players and fun for the fans. Those are the two things. And what works both for them? Amazing talent. We want to watch amazing baseball, and the players get accolades for being as good as they are. So you got to find that sweet spot. I think Paul Skenes has gotten enough of it. He has shown the ability that he deserves to at least be in the conversation. The amount of stats don't show just in the pure pure show of innings pitched. But you take a look at everything else, right? And in that time, he sells a 2.14 ERA, has struck out 61 while only walking 8, only given up a small handful of home runs here, only 38 hits in that time, a whip of under 1 as a starter, which is awesome, and an ERA plus of 190, also a FIP of 250, quite nice as well. Like, all the stats, you just look at those stats, that shows all-star. That shows all-pro at some points. But for this thing, again, it just comes down to finding that sweet spot. What do you value? For how I value it and where I see that sweet spot at, he's had a good enough time in the time that he's been playing while showing that absolute insane talent too. So, yeah, he's an all-star in my book.
So it's the thing is that He's only thrown 46 in the third innings, but he's done that across 8 starts, which he's averaging about 6 innings per start, a little under. But see, since throwing just 4 innings in his first start, he has worked at least 5 innings each time since. In fact, he's worked at least 6 in 6 of his last 7 starts. So he's working deep into games, which I think improves his body of work. And like you're saying, 2.14 ERA, 2.50 FIP. 61 strikeouts against 8 walks. These are really good numbers. And with all due respect to the Pirates, they aren't, the most, eye-popping team right now. Yes, their strength is in the pitching. You have with guys like Mitch Keller and Jared Jones, and then the bullpen, Colin Holderman, who I think is very deserving too. And the tough thing is that the National League has a lot of good pitchers. That being said, I don't see really anyone on this Pirates offense that warrants an all-star game selection. I mean, for a little bit, it looked like maybe Nick Gonzalez, but he's fallen off. O'Neal Cruz doesn't have the rate stats. Maybe Brian Reynolds, he's been their best hitter this year, 132 OPS plus. But I think if not Skenes, it maybe be Mitch Keller, maybe it's Colin Holderman, maybe long shot it's Jared Jones. So I think regardless, the Pirates are going to be sending a pitcher. I think Skenes at this rate is probably the best option, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Keller for a second year in a row. So I'm going to lean yes on Skenes being deserving of the All-Star game.
I do think the deserving question is different from a Willie won't he. Like Max said, this has been a great year for pitchers. There's a lot of deserving candidates. Skenes is 22nd in the National League in F4 among pitchers. That is not quite all-star level, just on F4, just on F4. Of course, there's other.
But he's in things. Only 8 starts.
Yes. Like, of course. This is the same argument we had with Ellie last year, with Yasiel Puig a decade ago.
In 2013, yeah.
Yeah. Do you judge, like, it's the all-star game? How much do you weigh that? How much do you weigh, is Royce Lewis an all-star? He's played 16 games, but he's been the best player in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Like the year Mike Trout had a couple years ago, he played 36 games. He was an all-star. Byron Buxton was not an all-star that year. He was just as good in a similar amount of time. So, if he had the innings total that the Suarez's and the Glasnows and the Webbs and the Wheelers of the world, he would be leading the pack in F4. He's on pace. So he has 1.5 F4 in 46 innings. So if he just gets to 90 innings, where Brandon Pfaadt has, and Brandon Pfaadt's tied with him in F4, he'd have 3 WAR. That would lead the National League. That would be ahead of Glasnow and Sale and Suarez and Sanchez. Great. I think this is a year that Skenes is going to get screwed by the number of good pitchers in the National League. The Braves have multiple deserving guys. The Phillies have an entire rotation that could go to the All-Star game. The Dodgers have multiple people that deserve to go to the All-Star game. Then you have the Logan Webbs of the world. Sonny Gray's been awesome. Dylan Cease hasn't been great for ERA, but 2 F4. Mackenzie Gore might be the only national going. Hunter Green has been good. Matt Waldron has been one of the best pitchers in baseball the last month and a half or so. Jake Irvin for the Nats has been good. Imanaga for the Cubs, Assad for the Cubs have been very good. And like you guys have said, Mitch Keller and Jared Jones, while not as good as Skenes on a rate basis, are also very good pitchers. So I don't think Skenes should be an all-star as of right now. The All-Star game is in a few weeks, so that can change. He's going to have a couple more starts. And there's also injury replacements. Yoshinobu Yamamoto will not play in the All-Star game. If he's elected to the All-Star game, he will not pitch, so his spot will immediately be taken. So that's one name you can kind of cross out. So if we're talking active pitchers ahead of him, there's 20 by F4. Well, he's probably going to jump a couple in his next couple starts. Okay, great. So let's say there's 15. Oh, that's a more reasonable list. And I'm not saying F4 is the end-all be-all here. But as of right now, I don't think Skenes should be an all-star. I think Skenes should probably be the favorite for Rookie of the Year. I think Skenes should be maybe potential down-ballot Cy Young votes. But I don't think he should be an all-star right now. Subject to change. We have a couple weeks. But and this is something they figure out like the week before the All-Star game as well. So we have a couple weeks even before that point. But like if you're taking 7 starters, it's probably Glasnow, 2 Phillies, 2 Braves, Sonny Gray, and that's already 6. I don't know if Skenes is an argument over those guys.
Yeah, I decided to take a look back because I know we've spoken about this before. But Mike Trout was an all-star in 2012, and I'm looking back at it. I know it's a bit different. He's a position player, but he had only played 57 games as of July 1st, which I believe was when because normally they announce all-star games the Sunday before the first half ends. So as of that day, he'd only played in 57 games. Skenes, again, has a limited body of work. I think on a rate basis, he probably is deserving, but I think this is also a situation where I could see him getting left off because he hasn't hit those requirements. And to your point, I remember when Yasiel Puig was on the final vote ballot for the 2013 All-Star game, just because he lit the world on fire his first month as a big leaguer. I can see this being a case where Skenes maybe does make it as an injury replacement, because especially with pitchers, there are going to be guys who pitched that last Sunday before the All-Star games that they asked to be withdrawn, or they want to rest their arms, so they're not going to play. I know last year Kodai Senga was an All-Star as an injury replacement, or
Alex
quote-unquote
Cobb
injury
was an All-Star.
Alex Cobb made it. I know George Kirby was the last-second guy last year too. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of changes to the roster. So I think maybe he's not initially named an All-Star, but I think he is going to find his way into the game somehow. I think he's just it's another one of those things where, like, last year I remember when Julio Rodriguez got added to the All-Star game, and people were like, oh my God, like, how are you adding him? Look at his stats. It's almost a marketing thing.
It was
that was in Atlanta, or that was in
Seattle. So yeah,
but
you
Skenes
had
is
to
also
have Julio in there.
That's the thing, is Skenes is also such a big name that I feel like he's going to have to be included no matter what, or the fans are going to have a problem with it.
Okay, would you be, if it was Skenes is in and he's the only Pirate, are you cool with that? Because I could see that. I would be cool with that.
Honestly, I'd be cool with it.
I don't think he will, though.
I think
he does make it, but not as the only Pirate.
Keller's thrown exactly twice as many innings.
See, let me say my argument on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my main thing on this is that I like what you were talking about, Mac, here with the replacements. That's the real all-star stuff for me, because I don't like to look at the popular vote. The popular vote is not the best player. The popular vote most of the time is just who do people like the most. That's why it's called the popular vote. And so at that point, it's like, okay, once you get the voting out of the way, then you start to see the real players come in here. A lot of them get added in, and they're going to be like, okay, well, yeah, obviously you're in. Obviously you're in. And it's about also how the order of things goes. I think that first off, they make sure after the popular vote, they make sure that every team has one in. And at that point, then that's when they're probably going to add Keller, because Keller is the guy that's thrown the more innings. He's the more qualified, quote unquote, pitcher on that point. And so he's going to be the added on. And then once you get all the people that are not able to play in the game, injury replacement, pitching time, all that fun stuff, that's when you start getting even more of the fun people that deserve to be in as well. And that one is going to go eventually, I think, to Paul Skenes, very similarly to how Julio was added on late here. But just because at that point, it's like, you don't think the MLB doesn't want to market the absolute hell out of him? Take a look at him in the minor leagues. Every game that he started here, if you had the at-bat app, it's like, oh, Paul Skenes is starting today. Here, we made this a free game for you to watch, because we want you to watch Paul Skenes because he is absolutely incredible. Yeah. So it's that I think if MLB has literally any say in it, they're going to say, yes, we want Skenes to be in this game. Keller's going to be the initial one put in because of it. And sorry about Holderman, but I think that right now it's Keller, then Skenes, and then that's probably going to be it.
Yeah. The thing is also with a guy like Holderman is that, I was saying this before the show, but he's not the closer.
Yeah,
although he might get some save opportunities right now with David Bednar being hurt, but it's so hard for non-closing relievers to make it. Where it's like he's kind of behind the 8 ball already. But I definitely think, Skenes. I'm pretty sure MLB does have a little bit of say in the roster, if I'm not mistaken. I know they at least have like those special spots that Miguel Cabrera got to take one year. I think Albert Pujols his last year. I think Adam Wainwright, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, well, Pujols I know had a monster second half, but
did Waino?
There was also one for Miguel Cabrera, didn't he also?
Yeah, Cabrera
Wainwright did not.
Oh, okay, Waino didn't.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it was Pujols and Cabrera.
Yeah, just Pujols and Miggy.
Cabrera
this year should be Jesse Chavez and an American leaguer.
Kevin Pillar. I don't know.
Ooh, former MVP vote getter Kevin Pillar. I like that.
You know, that's also what I love about the All-Star game is those first-time All-Stars that are like late in their career. I remember it's hard to believe this, but Nick Markakis didn't make an All-Star game until I think
2018.
Like he was 2018 was his first All-Star game, which is crazy to think about because he was a machine for Baltimore.
I was about to say at that point,
you All-Star game.
You almost get the Bob Newhart treatment at that point. Here, or am I dating myself by saying Bob Newhart?
I have no idea who that is. I'm going to say the line though.
He's a legendary actor that was just known forever here. And then when he was given a Lifetime Achievement Award here after not getting a lot of things started his career on it. And he received a full standing ovation at, I think it was like the Oscars here. And it's like, wow, he didn't have some of these major accolades. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. It's like when you see that like Mel Ott didn't win an MVP or Eddie Murray didn't win an MVP.
Ken Griffey Jr. only has one MVP.
Yeah, Jeter didn't.
Nick Markakis is the only position player since 1930 to lead his league in WAR and not receive an MVP vote.
Which is bonkers.
That's insane.
And WAR wasn't even around the first 80 years of that. Nick Markakis is the only one, and also Lefty Grove, but he was a pitcher. But yeah, good job.
Yeah, I personally, I personally love doing. I used to love writing those one-time All-Star. Articles because you find guys. It's like I'm sure everyone remembers so Cal Quantrill might make the All-Star game for Colorado this year. But did you know that his dad was an All-Star as a reliever?
That's awesome.
If you wouldn't believe it, Paul Quantrill made an All-Star game. Or like Mike Stanton, the relief pitcher, not Giancarlo Stanton, Mike Stanton.
Actual Mike Stanton, yeah.
Derek Turnbow made the All-Star game.
Yeah, with a 6.8 ERA. You get
good job,
boys. Some weird.
I still think my favorite one-time All-Star will always be Daniel Vogelbach, but that's
what about Brian LaHair?
Bogey was amazing.
Or Brian LaHair,
dude. I hate Brian LaHair. I just hate the fact that he was absolute trash. I was there for his MLB debut where he grounded into a double play for his first major league at bat. Does nothing with Seattle and then goes to the Cubs and gets an All-Star nod. It's just like
the crazy thing is that by the time the All-Star game came around, he wasn't even starting anymore for Chicago because they had called up some kid named Anthony Rizzo. I don't know what's I don't know if he turned into anything, but this guy named Rizzo took the starting first base job, and LaHair was barely playing by the time the All-Star game came around and was off the team at the end of the year.
I do want to make sure I say I do not actually hate you, Brian LaHair. Just childhood me was always so high on him, and then just to see nothing, then he goes somewhere else and does amazing, just hurt me as a
I picked him up in fantasy that year, I'm pretty sure, and then I went away to training camp and couldn't control my roster, and he was just in my starting lineup, despite the fact that he wasn't playing anymore. So if you're wondering, I got 9th out of 10 teams that year in fantasy.
The fact that one did worse than you is impressive.
Yeah.
The fact you did not get last place. You didn't have to do the horrible fantasy punishments.
Okay, I was also in middle school at the time, so we didn't have those.
Fair enough, yeah.
You sure you don't have the 24 hours in a Waffle House?
Also 24 hours in McDonald's, too.
Ooh. I might do that on my own accord.
I saw this one. Yeah, it was 24 hours in McDonald's, and you could lessen the time by eating more things, and everything had a time value to it.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes for fries.
Something like that, yeah. And I'm like, look, I'm just not going to eat the day before, and then I'm going to be in there, and I'll be out in 30 minutes.
It'd be like that. Well, from one player who might be an all-star to another player who might be an all-star, let's talk about the White Sox trade targets, beginning with one, Garrett Crochet. Fellas... Yeah. Gun to your head, maybe not. We'll relax. Who will be employing Garrett Crochet August 1st?
This is tough because I don't really agree with the White Sox trading him.
You could say White Sox. You could say White Sox.
Say White Sox.
So
you could also say
Alex should go on this first because I'm having I'm fighting myself on this one.
Here's the thing is that I am really torn between two answers for this, and I'll explain each of them. The first is the White Sox because I do not think they should trade him. Like, I understand that they're in full tank. They don't have much of a hope for a future at this point, but he's also someone that you can legitimately build around. So, okay. The other answer is my Mariners, and let me explain non-homer terms on this one. Seattle's pitching has been absolutely incredible this year, like not a question. But there's one big question mark, and his name is Brian Wu. Wu has one huge issue with him: injury. He
just went on the IL today.
He just went back on the IL after being on the IL legitimately already twice this season. Like, I love Brian Wu's stuff. Like, when he pitches, he is electric. It is so much fun to watch Brian Wu pitch. But that's the key, is when he pitches. And I could see Seattle trying to make a move to get him. I don't think I agree because I still like Emerson Hancock, who you have right now in AAA. But then you have no depth, especially since you just traded away Dallas Keuchel. So that was
in
fun.
The year of our Lord 2024.
The year of our 2024 minor leaguer Dallas Keuchel was traded away, I think, to the Padres for cash considerations.
That's right, Brewers.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Brewers. Yeah, Brewers,
I saw that when I woke up this morning. I'm like, I did not realize he was still pitching.
I forgot that he was in the Mariners AAA.
2015 Cy Young Award winner Dallas Keuchel,
former Brave.
But there's not a ton of depth with their starting pitching right now. Especially if Wu goes down, then you have Hancock, who is good. We like what
he's battling injury too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing, is he's also had some injury concerns. And then after that, you don't have a lot of guys that are ready yet. So I think you could get away with. I personally do not think Seattle should trade for Crochet. I like him a lot, but I think he would get lost in the shuffle a little bit. And you have bigger needs than a fifth starter. Right now, I think you have bigger needs than that. So my personal opinion, gun to my head and all that, is White Sox just keep him.
Hey, Mac, where does Garrett Crochet play
so,
ball?
There are two places I think I could see him going. One is Baltimore. The Orioles desperately need pitching, and they have the position player prospects to give up. I think I could easily see them giving up a Heston Kjerstad and a Kyle Stowers or Connor Norby to get a guy like Crochet. So I think Baltimore, and I will also say San Diego, because San Diego, San Diego has outperformed my expectations. I'll say that much, but they've also been really inconsistent because they have moments like last night when they rallied against the Nationals where they look like, all right, this is a team of destiny. They're going to the World Series and all that. And then, I saw them get swept by the Mets about a week ago. So they're incredibly inconsistent, but Crochet has been very consistent. So I think, again, they have a couple of prospects they can move. So I could see him ending up in San Diego, reuniting with Dylan Cease. In reality, though, I think he stays in Chicago because they're not going to get an offer they like.
Yeah,
I don't think the teams are going to be willing to part with, a package that the White Sox want. I know the White Sox are in full rebuild mode. They're 21-59 right now. For reference, the 1962 Mets were 23-57 at 80 games through. So just to put you in perspective, put it in perspective how the White Sox are doing this year. So I think he ends up staying with the White Sox. Maybe Luis Robert gets traded, but I can't see Garrett Crochet getting moved.
So
hey, that's a good
one
transition. But Alex botches the transition.
Is that Louis Bob, I think, has much more trade value than Crochet does at this point. And at that point, right, so if you're going to try and trade for Louis Bob, you're not going to try and trade for Crochet. And the White Sox are thinking that you're going to get the same trade package for both of them, No, there's not a chance here
Nope,
that you're going to get
close.
anything close to what you're getting for Louis Bob that you're going to get for Crochet, because Crochet is as good as he is here. I'm probably going to out myself here on this point here. I think that Crochet is a ticking time bomb, because I think that with him,
he's
has
had
some
Tommy John
incredible
before
stats right now. But it all comes down to if people figure out his fastball. If people can figure out his fastball, he does not have a whole lot left. And I think what's going to happen at that point is he's going to fall down the depth charts. And so at that point, it's like, do you really want to take a huge risk to trade away a lot of future for Crochet when, yes, again, he has been absolutely incredible this first half of the season. I mean, hell, he threw basically exclusively fastballs to the Mariners and one changeup. That one changeup was taken deep by Tyler Locklear, excuse me. And yet still won that game, only giving up one run. Actually, no, that game was not won. They lost that game eventually, but that was from the bullpen. And Cal Raleigh being the best catcher in baseball. But at that point, like, again, if any team thinks they're going to get a Louis Bob level or even a Juan Soto level package for Crochet, you're huffing paint fumes.
Okay. Well, speaking of Luis Robert, I will save my opinion for the end because I have a spicy one.
Okay.
But Luis Robert, who is employing Luis Robert on August 1st?
I'll say it right now. There's a team that can get him. It's the Mariners. I think if not the Mariners, I could see also, and I don't like saying this, the Philadelphia Phillies, I think, also have what it takes.
Buster only got hacked. We're going to just stop.
Yes, Buster only did get hacked. But
great.
I could see either of these teams making it. I think the Mariners need, and I mean, they desperately need an impact bat. They're in first place in spite of their offense. So I think, and Robert is controllable. So, and I think the Mariners have the assets, especially on the pitching front. Heck, you can throw in some of their position player prospects. I think he's
trade Harry Ford, please do not.
Yeah, no,
I
don't see it being Ford, but I could see, I could see maybe, I know he just made his debut, but Class A potentially could
my
get
two
moved
main
back
untouchables with Seattle, prospect wise, are Ford and Lazaro Montes. That dude.
Oh yeah, no, I don't see Lazaro.
That dude's Jordan Alvarez.
Yeah, well, also Emerson, I'm also very high on. So I think, I think if anything, it's Seattle, and I'm going to say right now though he's definitely not going to be a White Sox.
Right, Alex.
Yeah, I'm 100% on the same boat that he's not going to be a White Sox. I think that a deal will eventually be made here, but here's my thing with him coming to Seattle. As much as I absolutely honestly, I would love to see it. Seattle started to figure out their outfield a little bit more. Julio, you're not moving anywhere. It's Julio Rodriguez. He is your guy for the next decade plus. You have Luke Raley, who has been absolutely on a tear lately and has been one of the most fun players to watch here. The fact that he is 240 and as fast as he is and plays as hard as he is, it is absolutely. It's if you want to just go watch anything fun, go on YouTube and just type in Luke Raley bunt. It is the funniest thing you'll ever see.
I can confirm. I will confirm. As the resident Mariners hater, I can confirm that's the cool thing.
Yeah, 100%. And then in right field, you have Mitch Haniger, as well as a plethora now of other people, including Demo that can play a utility. You have Class A that's been coming up and down a little bit here. There's other guys that can do it. It would suck to lose Haniger. I know he hasn't been playing as great this year, but he is someone that the team rallies around. I do think Seattle's going to make a big offer, though, for him. And it's because of what you just said. They need an impact bat. They need someone here who could really help jumpstart the offense. And we've already seen that Louis Bob's done well in Seattle. Like, at this point, I think it makes sense. The only thing that I struggle with then at this point is where do you put everyone else? And the good thing with it is I think there's a lot of versatility with the players that you already have, that you can mix and match lineups to make sure that people don't get hurt as much. You just let go of Seby Zavala because now you've remembered, oh, wait a minute, Mitch Garver's a catcher. Like, Garver can actually catch, and he's been doing good as a catcher. To be the backup to Rowley, Rowley. Same close name. Not same player, though. Luke Raley can also play first base if you need to as well. So you can put him there to give
play
Ty
the
France
outfield, too. I mean,
there. You have Dylan Moore that can play literally every position. Josh Rojas that can play literally every position here. And you're going to be using them probably at second base most frequently. JP's your everyday shortstop, not a question there. Third base will always be a question mark forever until Seattle makes the easy trade to go and get Paul Sewald and Gino Suarez back from the Diamondbacks. Please sooner rather than later. But at that point, it makes sense for Seattle. The other team that jumped out to me was the Dodgers, because the Dodgers love getting all the big names.
I'm not gonna lie, they popped into my head for a second.
Yeah, and at the same time as well, they also may have even had a thought with this, with Mookie being an infield, even though Mookie's hurt right now, obviously. They moved Mookie to the infield because they figured, oh, hey, we're gonna have enough outfielding. They don't have enough outfielding. Okay, let's just go get Louis Bob then. So I think that is definitely a answer here for this, but. Again, if I have to gun to my head right now, I think he's going to be wearing a Seattle Mariner cap. And it is going to be very interesting also to see how fast of an outfield you're going to have with Luke Raley, Julio Rodriguez, and Luis Robert Jr. in an outfield right now. That is a Formula One racetrack of an outfield.
That would be a lot of fun. So I'm going to do rapid fire here. This is not what I think will happen. This is not what I've read will happen. This is not backed by anything besides vibes. If I am this team, this is the trade I am making. First, the low move. Michael Kopech. Go to the other side of Chicago. The Cubs need a closer. I do not care that Kopech's numbers are like all over the place. They need a closer. They need a closer bad. Go get Michael Kopech right now and figure it out, because you are better than the 13th place team in the National League. And I don't think the Mets are trading it yet. So go get Michael Kopech. Garrett Crochet should be a Baltimore Oriole. You just lost. You've lost Means. You've lost.
Wells.
Wells. You lost
Wells
the other
and Bradish.
Bradish. Yeah. So you lose the pitching. Why did you get swept by the Texas Rangers in the playoffs? You didn't have pitching. Go get a pitcher, not a belly itcher.
Desperately.
And also great fit in the ballpark given Mount Baltimore. Sean Murphy will not be sending a Christmas card to the wall, by the way. And last but not least, this is a spicy one. Who should trade for Luis Robert? The Pittsburgh Pirates should trade for Luis Robert. This is a sort of move that, yes, I know the Pirates don't do this sort of thing. I'm well aware. However, the Pirates can do a win now and win in the next few years move with Robert. As we've mentioned, Robert is not a rental. He has option years the next couple years. He is under team control through 2025 for sure. Then he has option years. Go make that trade. You have a little push in this season. Have a little push. See if you get into the wild card. See if you maybe fight for the division. You have Skenes, you have Jones, you have Keller. There is no team in the National League that wants to face that in the National League. The Dodgers don't. The Phillies don't. The Braves don't. I do not care what the odds are on that series. I will sprinkle Pirates money line or Pirates to advance whoever they play in the National League, because the pitching is that good. The pitching can overwhelm you, and that's what can win in October. We saw it with the Texas Rangers. We saw it with the 2021 Braves. We saw it with the 2019 Nationals. If the pitching gets hot, it does not matter. It just simply does not matter. The Pirates are in that situation. And again, Robert is not a rental. This is not a 2024 move. This is a 2024 to 2027 move. Capitalize before Skenes makes bucket loads of money. Capitalize before Jared Jones makes bucket loads of money. Capitalize on good years from Brian Reynolds. Maybe keep Brian Hayes, has a bounce back. Maybe you figure out what you're doing at first base. Andrew McCutchen, send off. Hey, go to make a playoff run. So Pirates, you should trade for Robert. Cubs, you should trade for Kopech. Orioles, you should be banging the drum and getting Garrett Crochet.
I don't know if I could agree with you on that one there, boss.
Why?
I don't think the Pirates are in win now mode.
I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they
I think
will
this is
be.
more.
I think
Yeah,
they should be. I think they are in the mix. They are a team that if you're okay, if we had like if we were having a fantasy draft of the National League wildcard mediocrity, we're going to exclude the Braves because they're going to make the playoffs. The 5 through the 13. If we are drafting aspects of teams and we're trying to build a World Series team, Pirates rotation is probably the first thing off the board, unless I'm totally missing something. Pirates rotation is the first thing off the board. Like 1, 2, 3 in a playoff series. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Actually.
Let's have a pretend series. Pirates Phillies wild card round. Games 1, 2, 3. Who has the pitching advantage?
Phillies.
Is it easy?
It's closer than you think. It's the Phillies, but
I think. But then at that point, like the Phillies have a better. It's like I think a better rotation overall, and they have a better offense.
Okay, but just 1, 2, 3 pitching.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 pitching. I think it's close, but I'm not looking at just pitching. And if you're the Pirates right now, you can't look at just pitching. If you look at just pitching, then you would see the Mariners have won the World Series in 2022.
But that's what makes the Mariners so potentially dangerous in the playoffs.
They are going to be dangerous.
The right-handed hitters can't hit. That's the problem. Okay, another hypothetical. Pirates Braves wild card series. Who is the better pitching? Who is the better 1, 2, 3 in the rotation?
Right now, with their current rotation.
Right now, today.
It's the Pirates. Yeah.
Right now, it's the Pirates.
Right now, Pirates or Dodgers? Obviously, that wouldn't be a wild card matchup, but right now, 1, 2, 3, Dodgers or Pirates?
Dodgers 1, 2, 3 is what? Glasnow?
Glasnow, broken. Yeah.
Pirates.
I mean, Pirates, yeah. But at that point, again, you can't just look at the pitching.
I know, but listen. I get what you're saying, Alex, but that if we were having a fantasy draft and we're trying to build a World Series winner, what aspects of these teams, what is the best aspect of any of those middling teams? What is the thing that could take them over the top? What was the thing that took the Diamondbacks over the top? They got awesome production from Gallen and Kelly and Fott last year. Bing, bang, bong. They're in the World Series. What about the 2022 Phillies? Wheeler, great. Nola, great. Suarez, great. Bing, bing, bong. They're in the World Series. It's not the only thing. Harper had a monster playoff run. Ketel Marte had hit in every playoff game. Christian Walker did some things. But having the pitching staff is so important.
I agree.
Having that 1, 2, 3.
Point, yes.
And then you have a Holderman. Then you have a Bednar. You're reaching like 2019 Nationals that there's 5 pitchers you care about and they're all really good and they can go just 6 innings in theory. Of course, the Marlins had pretty good pitching last year and got annihilated, but they were all lefties too.
Here's my problem with the argument, right? Because I agree with your point that right now the Pirates pitching staff is pretty dang strong. I'm not going to disagree with that.
I'm not saying they're like we're going to win the World Series or anything.
I know you're not.
But what other National League team? What other of that group? What other aspect of the team are you taking?
At that point, no, but that's exactly my point here. Is that at this point, yeah, you have a good pitching staff, and you want to get better in the other areas here, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're making a deal for Robert, you are going to need to give up a lot to get him, including Major League ready and prospects. And I don't think the Pirates are going to be willing to get rid of.
That was not my point at all. They're not going to do this. They should. They're not going to.
Then your argument makes even less sense then about what we're talking about. Because then if you're talking about here that the pitching is going to be what gets you into the playoffs and then gets you into the next round of the playoffs, then your pitching, just like Seattle's kind of proving as what you can win with really good pitching, but you need to have pitching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Not 1, 2, 3. And at that point now, they still have had enough offense to make it work to win these games.
The 4th starter, I'd not like Bailey Falter's been all right this season. I'm not buying that you need 4 ace level starters. I'm not
saying that either,
in the playoffs. No, not necessarily.
What I'm saying here is that if you're only banking on 3 starters right now, yes, that will get you into the post. It's like that will get you potentially into the next round of the postseason. If you have the offense to go along with it, that can at least make it do.
Well,
right?
yes, that's why you trade for Robert in this case.
I know, but if you trade, I don't think Robert is enough to take that offense.
I agree, but I think he is.
Why would you make the trade at that point?
Because it's not just a 2024 move; it's a 2024 to 2027 move, and that's
it's a 2024
you
to
have him under
2025
control.
move.
Yeah, to me, that's the value of getting Robert. Is that it's not just a 1-year rental. Now that increases the cost, and Pittsburgh would have to give up a lot for it. Yes, but how many times have we seen top prospects fail out? If you're going to be soft and going to just sit on we have all these prospects. At some point, you have to trade these guys. That's why I think the Cubs are going to be in this situation. They don't have star players. They don't have like top 5 guys at any position. That's why they're struggling. That's why they have inconsistency issues. Like when Dansby Swanson and Cody Bellinger, good MLB players, Nico Horner, a good MLB player, when those are your best players, you're going to have your issues because you don't have the Bryce Harpers of the world or the Rafi Devers, the Jose Ramirez, the Otanis and the Trouts and the Betts. You're not going to have that person to push you over the top. And you have, we have 9 top 100 prospects. They're prospects. They have value now. They're going to get blocked because you can't have, look at the Braves minor league system. They don't have great position players right now. Who cares? They're not going to play anyways.
Yeah, but then now you take a look. Here's my question to you, because I feel like I'm misunderstanding some bits of this. Are you saying basically that having prospects, the only reason why you have them if you're in a win now situation, or just the only reason why you have them if you're not in a win now situation is to trade them?
No, I'm saying there is prospects have value. Some teams would value your prospects more than you do. If you see a team that will take a prospect that maybe is on your internal board, maybe they're 15th, but the other team values more than that, that's an asset.
Well, obviously, yeah, but that comes down to what you're
team building thing. So if you have Joey Ortiz has been a top 5 third baseman in baseball this year. The Orioles do not care. The Orioles simply do not care.
They didn't need him. He was buried on the depth chart.
They simply do not care. They have Jordan Westbrook, who's been comparably as good, and they have Corbin Burns that they got in the trade. Okay, great. The Pirates can look, do we need 17 shortstops? Maybe O'Neal Cruz moves to the corner outfield like Fernando Tatis. Okay, maybe. Maybe we don't like X. And maybe the White Sox like X a lot. Well, let's trade X and have him as a piece in that trade, and that can facilitate the trade. And there's obviously a point to having prospects. Obviously, like the Skenes was a prospect. You didn't trade Skenes. Jones was a prospect. You didn't trade Jones. I get that. But you're not going to call up every single prospect you have. Some of them have to be used as assets.
Oh, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. But the only time usually when you aren't trading those guys is when you don't have someone already set in motion, or in the vice versa of that, the only time you are trading that is when you have someone that is fully set in that position here. Like you're saying with the Orioles here, they're able to trade Ortiz because, we have these amazing holidays. We have rushes. We have all these guys here
that been horrible, by the way,
to play in that position.
With Jordan Westbrook. So you have a coin flip between Westbrook and Ortiz.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying here is that when you're looking at this now, look at the Astros. As much as I hate saying this, the Astros were a well over 100-team loss for multiple years in a row. And now they are a dynasty because they got their prospects, they built them up, and they brought them up here. That is how they won. That is how they did it, also with a lot of help from a trash can. But at the same time here, you look at these guys and you look at these teams, you have to be at least a little bit more cognizant of what these draft picks and what these prospects are going to be able to do. And if you're a team like the Pirates right now, you're not looking at just 2024, 2025. You're looking farther than that. And if you're going to bring up here that he has options, Louis Bob is not going to want to stay for a team that's not a contender. And unless right now, at this point right now, if you're banking on that starting 3 being your reason that you are a contender here, he is going to decline those options and he's going to take free agency and he's going to go out to another team. And then you're going to have given up several players here for 2 years at best at that point of this star level talent that, mind you, by the way, at the moment is still batting right around the Mendoza line.
So the one also, those are team options. That's the thing. So the
I thought you said it was
Pirates can
player
easily
options.
no, they're two team options, 2026, 2027, 20 million team options with $2 million buyouts. But in all likelihood, whatever team gets him is probably keeping him until 2027. So I think the Pirates, maybe they aren't immediate contenders, but I could see them contending next year or the year after that. So that's my one final thought also is that the last time the Pirates tried doing this, it backfired really badly. But that was for Chris Archer. Chris Archer, with all due respect, does not make nearly the impact that Louis Bob can when he's on the field. So I think it would be kind of worth it for Pittsburgh to do this. I don't see it happening. And I mean, realistically, the teams, like I said, the Mariners, the Phillies, the Dodgers, I could see that all happening. It's a lot more likely than Pittsburgh, but it's not, I think, too far-fetched to say Pittsburgh can do it.
So using the Astros, my final point, 2017 Astros prospect rankings. Number 1, Francis Martes. Number 2, Kyle Tucker, good player. Number 3, David Paulino. Number 4, Derek Fisher, not the Lakers one,
not the basketball player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number 5, Forrest Whitley. I think he just made his debut this year. Yep. Number 6, Franklin Perez. Number 7, Teoscar Hernandez, who did nothing with the Astros. Number 8, Ramon Laureano, Braves legend. By the way, has more games with 3 doubles than Hank Aaron or Chipper Jones in their entire careers. With the Braves, by the way. Number 9, Daz Cameron. Number 10, Miguel Angel Sierra. Number 11, Garrett Stubbs, who made the World Series against the Astros. Number 12, Gilberto Celestino. Number 13, J.D. Davis. Number 14, Yordan Alvarez. Okay, great. Out of the top 14 players, yes, you have the two preeminent stars on the team now. Absolutely. And 12 didn't do anything for your team.
They used Perez and Cameron along with Jake Rogers to get Justin Verlander.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Would you rather have Daz Cameron and friends or Justin Verlander, who's won not one?
Yeah, but that's all talking about with hindsight.
I know, but you have to. There's value to trading these players.
You know, I'm aware there's value to trading with them, but I'm also saying you don't just be throwing them away willy-nilly on this as well.
You're not throwing it away. You're getting one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking. Like, that's okay. We're getting nowhere real quick on this one.
Anyway, that 2017 prospect ranking, number 1, Andrew Benintendi.
That's right.
He did win a World Series with this team, though. Yohan Moncada did not. They're now teammates.
I was so high on Benintendi.
I still think that the Red Sox, when they had him, should have made a chicken restaurant in Fenway and just called it Benny's Tendies.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
Kleber Torres is 3. Dansby's 4.
All right. Also, by the way, I'd like to look at the 2015.
Michael Kopech is 16.
I would like to look at the 2014 or so prospect rankings because that's the one where I think there's more for what the Astros have built around at that point. But we're running out of time already. We're already 53 minutes into the podcast.
Correa 1, Springer 3, and then Rio Ruiz was a Braves farmhand for a little bit. Josh Hader 15, by the way. I
think that shows my point a little bit better, doesn't it?
No, Josh Hader didn't do anything with the Astros until
I know. I know, but he was still absolutely incredible.
Well, yes, but he was traded for
Carlos Gomez. Remember the Mets were supposed to get Gomez? Then
that one worked.
It was Gomez and Mike Fiers for, I believe, Brett Phillips and Josh Hader and Domingo Santana, I think.
John Singleton's number 4. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can go through prospects for days. So we're going to move on. Alex, you're going to have to talk more about your certain Boulder Collegians, sir. So
I'm going to have to talk about it. No, I get to talk.
You are legally obligated to. We signed a contract. You are the second highest paid researcher in the history of the world behind Paul and McKeedy's. So $699,999,999.69.
Nice.
All right, let's talk about the Boulder Collegians here. Hello, guys. It is time for, it's not just a Boulder, it is the Boulder Collegians, as they have had themselves a heck of a last week where it's been interesting. They've actually lost a couple of games here. They are now on this season. They have played now 19 games, just 19 games, and are 15-4. And that's with yesterday's games against Arvada, where they actually lost 2 games in a row for the first time this entire season. But they were on a huge winning streak. But honestly, right now, there's a few things I'm going to bring up. And I have these note cards. These note cards I made on every single player on the team, so I can try to keep track of stats and all that fun stuff. And there's a few names that you all, I think, should know. One of them, Diego Castellanos, outfielder, mostly left field. That's why I also played a little bit in center field. If I were to tell you that this player who's usually batting but fairly early in the order here has an on-base percentage of 600 and is a powerful hitter, he already has a grand slam to his name, and an OPS of 1148, you would be saying, okay, that's probably best on the team, right? Like that's a reasonable thing to think, except when you look a little bit farther. Luke Blackman, third baseman, outfielder, sometimes first baseman as well, out of Morningside University, batting .357 with an on-base percentage of .587 and an OPS of 1194. Oh, wait a minute. He's not the only one with an OPS that high. In fact, actually, Alec Martinez, two-way star, hit the first home run of the season there for Boulder, has an OPS of 1667 in limited appearances. In every single game, he has gotten at least one hit that he has been an actual hitter for. He's pitched a lot more recently, and even pitching-wise has been solid here with a 1.05 ERA. These kids are demolishing the baseball, and they're pitching incredibly well, too. Like, heck, on top of it, TJ Newman is a guy that right now has a 12-8 K to walk ratio, which, again, is not amazing. But we also factor in that in his last start, he got 8 strikeouts without walking a single person. Very, very good. Over 9 2/3, they've only given up 1 earned run on the season. Then you take a look at other guys here. One that I need to bring up here is number 24. Here, number 24 is one Mr. I have the name right here, Nick Willems, who in his last start against Greeley threw an immaculate inning. Yeah. Bottom half of the first inning, the dude throws 9 straight fastballs, all over 90 miles an hour, and gets 3 strikeouts, 1 looking. Like, absolutely incredible. The audience was cheering. I was losing my mind, too. And these guys have been able to put it together when it really matters most. Here, then you also have guys like Nolan Archuleta that has still yet to give up a run this year. Pitching-wise, he has an ERA still of 0. CJ Pino, the San Francisco native here, finally gave up his first run of the year, and that was after he gave up 1 run when the bases were loaded and nobody out, and then 1 actual earned run against him a little bit later on in the game when he was going in his longest relief stint of the season. Then, not to mention here also, one more hitter I need to bring up here. I'm actually going to bring up 2 more hitters. But first one here, Steven Lukasevich is a guy that's been playing basically whenever needed. He is a third baseman, utility player, and catcher as well. He's not the best catcher on the team defensive-wise, but is still solid overall. This dude has a batting average of .526. .526 and an OPS of 1268. And this dude's batting in the bottom half of the lineup most of the time. Like, okay, you know what? That just shows how much depth this team has. And then I'm going to bring up one last name here because this dude, in my opinion, does not get near enough credit, even with the team. And that's Brett Williams. Brett Williams, I interviewed him. He was, I think, actually one of the very first people I interviewed with the team. A catcher out of Carlsbad, California, St. Mary's University, currently right now is batting over 500, only hits singles. I think he has 1 double on the year. But the dude has an on-base percentage of over 500. He hits the ball in about as many clutch at opportunities as you can. In the last doubleheader, he had 4 base hits over the course of the 2 games when he only had like 6 opportunities. He has walked more times than he has been hit, 6 RBIs, 9 runs for him at an OPS of 929. Like, all these players are so good and have been playing to that ability, and which is why I'm so surprised they had their 2 losses yesterday here against the Arvada Elite, who are an incredible ball club as well. But first game was a final of 8-7 after Boulder was trailing most of the game, took the lead after a double from Zane Zenicola, who then in the next inning gave up 3 runs and lost, which was heartbreaking. Those are off of a couple of errors. And then Arvada wins the second game 3-0 after a complete game shutout from their pitcher, who was absolutely just filthy dominating. A couple more games coming up this week here for Boulder. Tomorrow they're going to be traveling down for 2 games, and then they will be playing again on Saturday back home in the friendly confines of Scott Carpenter Park. But that has been this week's section of It's Not Just a Boulder, it is the Boulder Collegians. But no, it is so much fun to watch these guys, and to get to call them is so much fun.
Absolutely. So I guess the Collegians are a little bit of a slump right now, so gotta figure
I mean,
it out.
they lost 2 games, but one thing I didn't say before is the game before that, they're supposed to play a special 9-inning game against a team that is actually associated somehow with the Rockies, like they have some of their training staff or whatever, and Boulder beat them 17-1 in a blowout.
That's pretty good.
I will say obligatory. It is the Rockies, but
I don't want to bring that up too much farther, but yes.
Okay.
But I did. It was supposed to be a 9-inning game. They forfeit after 6.5.
Oh,
you'd be like that sometimes.
Well, it was 17-1, and they only brought 2 pitchers with them.
oh
this
yeah,
game.
that makes sense.
Okay,
And
so
the
average
first pitcher
youth league
only made it 2
experience.
1/3.
You guys.
Wait,
you guys should
wait.
see some of the tweets I see on the
Alex, what's their overall record? You said
On the season right, they are 15-4.
that's
That's
solid, almost.
better than the White
And I
Sox.
believe they're still perfect in actual league play.
Oh,
But
nice.
I'm not 100% on that one. I need to make sure on that because it's kind of hard. They definitely schedule a lot of other non-league games, so trying to figure out who's in league and who's not in league is still a little bit sketchy.
They do be like that.
No, it's so much fun to watch these kids, and they are playing some incredible baseball. Although I will say, in the 17-1 game, I need to give a small shout out on this. That second pitcher was not near as bad as that score shows. Legitimately, the Diamond Club Baseball had double-digit errors in the game, including their left fielder who could not catch a ball. I wish I was kidding when I said that. He had 4 errors by himself from balls that just went in and out of the glove. And I'm like, I felt so bad for the pitcher. Like, he was getting good, like, pitch to contact outs. Just defense wasn't helping him too much.
That's unfortunate.
Again, I don't mean anything bad to say about Diamond Club Baseball. They were very kind when I worked with them here. They were very nice, and I would love to get to work with them again. But I felt bad for the pitcher just because of the number of errors.
Well, I have someone that I think would catch the baseball. Moving on to our trivia segment, we have a special trivia segment in honor of Willie Mays, one of the greatest players to ever live. Fellas, please pick a number between 1 and 10. Mac, you start because Alex is a loser when it comes to these things.
I'll take 6.
Okay,
cool, 5.
Alex, you lose. Mac,
okay.
You may.
What was the number?
The number was 6. So
no, it wasn't.
Let's go.
On that
no,
one.
it was.
I call shenanigans.
No,
one.
It was 556 when I asked the question. And I just used the last number. That was a 6. So bow down, peasant.
The first 2 numbers were 5.
Well, the last number was 6. That was the number that
6,
changes. Okay.
I'm already calling this under protest.
Yeah.
Okay. Mac, I have 10 trivia questions. You may pick any question between 1 and 10. They're all Willie Mays themed. I will give you the topic, and then you tell me how many points you wish to try to accumulate. This means, let me backtrack. So there are 3 tiers to the questions. All the questions are the same. The questions are the same regardless of which one you choose. But there's answer differences. So if you go for the 3 ball, You have to get the answer. I don't give you multiple choice. I don't give you true, false, what have you. If you go for the 2, I will give you multiple choice. If you go for 1, it's just true, false. Deal?
Deal.
Bueno.
All right. Okay, Mac, please choose a number between 1 and 10.
5.
Okay, 5. This is about Gold Gloves. Would you like 3, 2, or 1?
I'll go 2.
All right, 2. Mays made the first Gold Glove team in 1957. Name the right fielder on that team. Was it A, Hank Aaron, B, Roberto Clemente, C, Frank Robinson, or D, Al Kaline?
Gold Glove team. I'm going to go with Roberto Clemente.
Clemente did not make a Gold Glove team until 1961. The correct answer, Al Kaline. It was the Major League Gold Gloves still that season.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Alex, 1
All
to
right,
10, please.
What number did Mac pick again?
He chose 5.
Cool. I'm going to take 4.
All right, 4. This is about stolen bases.
Okay.
Like 3, 2, or 1?
2.
2? Okay. Mays stole 339 bases in his career. What's the most he stole in one season? A, 25, B, 33, C, 39, or D, 40?
Going to go 39.
The correct answer is 40. He stole 40 bags in one season. He joked after his career that if he had known 30-30 and 40-40 seasons would be a big deal, he would have chased after those. So, great base stealer. Perhaps an underrated base stealer.
He was really fast. I mean, yeah.
Especially given the era. All right, Mac. Your selection.
I'll take number 7.
Number 7. 3, 2, or 1?
Oh, you got to give him the category.
Are you going to give us the
category? Home run teams.
I'll go 2.
All right, 2. What team did Mays hit the most home runs against? A, the Los Angeles Dodgers. B, the Milwaukee/Atlanta Braves. C, the Philadelphia Phillies. Or D, the Montreal Expos.
I feel like it has to be the Dodgers.
It has to be correct. Mac gets 2.
Let's go.
All right, well, you just ruined the strategy. I was going to go for 1 on the next one just to get on the board.
All right, Alex, please
All
choose
right.
a number.
All right, I'm going to go with TJ Newman. 1.
All right, number 1. 3, 2, or 1? Okay. Home run seasons.
I'm going to go
3,
2.
2, or 1?
2.
You went with 2.
2. All right, multiple choice. How many 50 home run seasons did Willie Mays have? A, 0. B, 1. C, 2. Or D, 3?
1.
Sir, he had 2. He had 51 in a season, 52 in another season. So, Alex, 0 for 2, sir.
Okay.
Mac, back to you.
All right, I'll take number 6.
Number 6. This is ballpark question. The ballpark question. 1, 2, or 3?
Give me 2 again.
All right, 2. Multiple choice. What ballpark did Mays play the most games at? A, the AT&T Park. B, Polo Grounds. C, Candlestick Park. D, Levi's Stadium.
I feel like it has to be Candlestick Park.
That would be correct. Mac, you are on the board once again.
Let's go.
Played just about 900 games. All right, Alex, back to you.
I gave me Hunter Hirayama, too.
All right, number 2. This is numbers, or jersey numbers.
Give me 2.
How many points? 2. Okay. Mays is famous for wearing number 24, but he wore another number to open his Giants tenure. What's the number? A, 4. B, 14. C, trick question, he always wore 24. Or D, 44.
I'm going to go 44.
That, my friend, is incorrect. He wore 14 in 1951.
Okay. My thought process on that was the Hank Aaron stuff. He didn't want to say number as Aaron, but
Hank Aaron, by the way, started his career number 5. So he is the best number 5 in the history of the Atlanta Braves. Sorry, Freddie Freeman. Mac, back to you.
Okay. I'm I'm going to go with 9.
9. All right. World Series.
Ooh. I'm going to go with 3, actually. You know
Okay.
what?
Okay. The money shot. Mace played in 4 MLB World Series. What team did he face twice?
Okay. I believe the correct answer is the New York Yankees.
It has to be those Yankees. That's a 3.
Let's
so
go.
7-0.
Ah.
Alex, you have question 3, question 8, and question 10.
All right, I'm going to go with Nick Mishuk, number 10.
Number 10. This is American League.
What's the score right now? 7-0?
Yeah,
7-0.
7. You have no chance of winning. We are just
No chance of winning anymore. Cool.
Yes.
We're going to go with 1 then. Because
All right.
I want to get on the board. I can't be swept.
All right. That's great.
Did you
True
not
or
have
false?
anything for this?
Yeah. True or false? Willie Mays hit a home run against an American League team. Let me rephrase. True or false? Willie Mays hit a home run against an American League team other than the Astros, because the Astros weren't in the American League at his time. So he hit home runs against the Astros. True or false?
False.
That would be correct, because he did not hit a home run in any World Series game. All right.
I see. Honestly, I wasn't sure if you were asking regular season or not. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
interleague play wasn't a thing
but
yet.
I'm pretty sure
So-
regular season back then they didn't do interleague.
The
Interleague play
original
wasn't a
question
thing
was
until the 90s.
Yeah, the original question was Mays hit a home run against one current AL team, including the postseason. Name them, and it was the Astros, because he didn't hit a home run in any of the World Series games. The Astros
Yeah,
swapped.
Yeah, which is
teams.
crazy to me, by the way.
That is
Right.
insane.
He had one in the 1971 NLCS against the Pirates. That's his
Sure.
only playoff home run. All right, Mac,
Oh.
question 3 or question 8, sir?
I'll take question 3.
All right, question 3. Positions. How many points?
2.
2. All right. Mace played over 24,000 innings in center field. Pretty fitting. What position did he play the next most? First base, left field, right field, or shortstop?
I know he came up as a shortstop with Birmingham, but that is not the correct answer. I believe it is right field.
Mr. Sir, he played the second most at first base.
Oh,
Wow.
All right. Alex, final question. This
All right,
is
so
pitchers.
it's number 8. Number 8, right?
Yes, number 8.
Yeah, so it's Luke Blackman. Got it.
All right. Pitchers.
great.
Let's go all the way down. Let's go 3.
All right. What pitcher did Mays take deep 18 times, including one 16th inning home run, a walk-off home run?
Mac, you know this one?
I think I do, but I'm gonna let you try.
I'm gonna go Christy Mathewson.
Okay.
Um,
I'm going to point out that Christy Mathewson also played for the Giants, so
Nice.
would have been physically impossible if
No,
they
it's
weren't
not.
60-year
It's
difference.
it's called batting practice.
Okay. It's Warren Spahn. That 16
I was gonna say
game was,
Warren Spahn,
yeah, it was particularly painful because Spahn threw a complete game and lost it in the 16th inning. Also, Juan Marichal threw a complete game and threw 16 innings.
I hate to be that guy, but Christy Mathewson passed away in 1925. So
I was trying to
I
let
was
Alex
already
off the-
losing. I just threw
I-
out.
I
a
was
random
trying to
name.
let
I
Alex
had no
off easy
idea what
there.
the answer was. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna say a name. It's this one.
It just happened to be perhaps the greatest left-handed pitcher of all time that Willie Mays kind of took on the woodshed. So
yeah,
Willie Mays
that's
famously,
legend Warren Spahn, by the way.
yeah. Oh dear, Willie Mays hit a home run in every inning through the 16th. So 1, 2, 3,
That's
4, 5,
insane.
6,
That's
7, 8,
incredible.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16.
That's pretty
That is
wild.
insane.
Yeah.
Like, that is genuinely insane. How many active players have even played in the 16th inning? That's a
There
good
aren't that many
question.
games that go that long anymore.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you have like Max Muncy hit an 18th inning home run.
Yeah, I watched that one not live, but I watched that one in the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wings, beer sports, not sponsored by the way.
That
One thing
was
we
one of the
should get
funniest
sponsored.
nights of my life.
We need we need like BetterHelp therapy to do our moment to ourselves, something like that.
I
That'd be
actually
fun.
100%. I mean, I use
I would-
BetterHelp,
I
so
would-
maybe I can try to figure out a way to make that work.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're not currently sponsored. Maybe one day.
Not currently, but we're working on it.
Okay. Would either of you like to go first? If not, I can go.
I'd say you go first this time, then.
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. Count me down in the background. Alex.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to say this one time and one time only. This is the only time I will mention this player's name on this podcast. If Trevor Bauer was worthwhile to an MLB team, he would be pitching in Major League Baseball.
Okay, fair enough.
That
All
was
Matt,
perfect,
you
actually.
want to go next, or you want me to go?
No, you can go.
Okay, sounds good. Someone give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
So, I refinding my love of broadcasting doing all this, and to the point where I am seeing how much myself can grow while I do this job, and while I continue to learn these players, I learn my mechanics. I got doing this, and it's funny for me to think about the fact that I've done this for so long now that me relearning everything feels refreshing in a way. Like, and with me just trying to figure out ways to make things work. Like, with where I'm at right now, I'm not using any high-tech setups. I'm not using anything that's, like, insanely hard to learn. I'm using our StreamYard account here. And our camera was supposed to be a big HD one, but it's not working. So we're using a $30 webcam I bought over at Best Buy. And you know what? It's working great. On top of it, I am also, for the little stand for the webcam, I am using a little wooden block with a little slit cut in it here that I got for Christmas. That's a phone stand by trade. But I'm using it because it can hold that camera really well in place and get me good looks here for the broadcast. I'm relearning how to make everything happen. It's not about trying to have these incredible setups. It is about what you're able to do with them. And on top of it, right, like a lot of broadcasters use like notes on your laptops and all that kind of stuff, or iPads. This is my notes, as well as my broadcasting book, which I can refer to at any time. Go through, get those. I have all sets I want to need on these note cards. And these are what I use for my tools of the trade. And so far, it's been going pretty damn well.
We love to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't need a ton of money to broadcast. You just need a passion and a willing to make things work.
And a coworker that helps you pay for the StreamYard account.
You're not wrong. I will say, though, legitimately, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way we can get StreamYard to actually sponsor.
That'd be great.
At this point right now,
That would be great.
That'd be great.
I mean, I'm working right now with a lot of these other teams here that are like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, well, I'm using this amazing streaming platform called StreamYard.
I can personally tell. I did a 25-hour stream on StreamYard, and there were no issues.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100%. No, StreamYard is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, StreamYard.
I highly recommend it.
And I need to thank you for that, Splash. Like, you were the one that pushed for this.
Yeah, I've done a 25-hour live stream, a 12-hour live stream. I was on for 4 hours talking about Ichiro the other day, which sadly did not go well. Alex, you need to. I know you have a job, but you need to get back to MLB Power Pros.
Look, here's the thing: is I'm available one of these days pretty soon, and we can just be on call. I don't have to play it. So I can just be on call.
That's a good point. I'll be out of town Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday though. So, or Thursday. Oh my goodness,
maybe
Thursday,
maybe it's a 4th of July celebration thing we can do.
Ooh, that could be fun. Fireworks. Could do like.
I'm flying home that day.
Okay. Let us know on the Twitter who we should do a fireworks celebration for. And Mac, it is your time to shine, my friend.
All right, perfect. Someone count me down.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so like I said at the beginning, I had an amazing week in Indianapolis. I for some people it's harder to get back into swimming after college. It's a very, very tiring sport, pretty unforgiving. But I went my fastest times in 4 different events since college. So that was awesome. It was great spending time with my teammates. I think this is I put in a lot of work in the last year to get to this point. So that was great. But the Olympic trials, I think may be the greatest sporting event I've ever attended. pool in a football stadium was amazing. The pool looked great. The display was awesome. And just seeing Olympians get crowned, it's an awesome moment. It was worth every penny. I would 100% do it again. At first, I was like, why are we doing nationals the same week in the same city as Olympic trials? And now I'm pretty glad we did it. So if you ever get a chance to attend Olympic trials, I highly recommend it. By the way, apparently might be in a football stadium again. I know they're putting the Olympics at SoFi Stadium in 2028. So maybe in 2028 we'll see it in a football stadium again. So that was just an amazing week, and Indianapolis did a great job putting this all together.
Indianapolis is the best host city.
Oh, it was a great
Indy's also going to be, apparently they just signed a deal with WWE that they're going to be hosting in the next couple years. WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, no, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, I believe.
Yeah,
so,
I was talking to one.
Nothing
yeah.
my friend.
Or sorry, premium live events.
I was talking to one of my my Uber drivers about it and how those events bring so much to the city, because really. Walking around it, there isn't like a ton to do in the city, but they have those arenas. So it's great that they keep bringing those events to Indianapolis.
I've never been to Uvu Jobber.
I may or may not be going to Greenville, South Carolina to see my beloved Rome Emperors play and potentially pick up a Rafi Devers bobblehead.
I was about to say, yeah, you were talking about that.
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds awesome.
And get the sadly it's not in Rome, so I probably can't get a Rome Emperor's hat, but I would totally get one. I should order one in the meantime. But anyways, that'll be all for us today. We went a little long because Alex and I had a nice little sparring match about
we did. That was fun though.
That was not the first time we've had a sparring match about a AL.
We have had a lot of sparring matches.
Yeah, they just happen to be over American League Central.
I mean, it's pretty entertaining. So
we should have like an Alex. That could be a fun. I guess
here's the thing. Next podcast is just you and me.
Yeah,
so
next podcast.
It's going to be the cage match.
It's going to be why Felix Hernandez will be remembered as a brave and not a mariner.
To quote good Papa Triple H there, it's going to be in a steel cage.
And you can make all the wrestling references you can muster, and I won't understand any of them. Anyways, if you like understanding baseball, drop us a follow on Twitter at LAR_baseball. We also have an Instagram. We don't really use it. My bad. We have a YouTube page. If you're watching on YouTube, hey, we have a podcast. Go check it out. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. If you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you. Drop a 5-star review, or Apple, whatever. Drop a 5-star review. Tell a friend, tell your neighbor, tell your mailman. I don't know do you have mailman nowadays?
I mean, yeah, they still
like with a face. No, obviously you have people that deliver your mail, but do you have like a face like, oh, hey, Mark, my delivery driver?
Most of the time it's usually the same person, but I don't know them as well just because they drop the mail off in the mailbox and then they dip.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, I had a mailman back in the day who was 6'4". He signed I had a little like Dr. Seuss, like All About Me book. He signed it because he was 6'4" and he was a mailman.
Nice.
Yes. So very cool things. If you like baseball, consider watching more of us or listening to more of us. We have MLB Power Pro streams. We have Alex. Alex is pretty cool. We have Matt.
That's what I want to say. If you want to watch baseball, if you want to hear me commentate baseball as well, go to Boulder Collegians Baseball on YouTube. All of our games are live streamed there. You can find the schedule for it on bouldercollegians.com, where you can also donate to the team here to try and send the team to Wichita for the NBC World Series. Yeah, they already have an automatic bid to play in there. It's just about getting the funds to go there.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It definitely do be like that, but it's a fun time. The kids are really good at it. If you want to know what I'm going to be talking about during the next, it's not just the Boulder, it's the Boulder Collegians. Hey, you'll have a head start.
And if you want to follow Mac, you can shoot him a follow at Mathias_A_K. He has questionable food takes and good baseball takes, unless they're about the Mets. Alex, you can follow him at the Sports Guy 242 for. I don't actually see your posts on the feed.
I don't post very often. I mostly post like advertisements for this show and for the Boulder Collegians.
And then you can follow me at Mr. Splashman19. I usually just retweet my favorite players when they hit home runs. That's about it. So thank you guys for watching.
Follow follow the actual podcast page.
I did say that. That was the first thing I said, Alex. Yes. And then I said we have an Instagram too, but I don't really use it. That's my bad.
Yeah, I didn't hear you say the handle. That's my bad.
Okay, well, yeah. Mac, is there anything that you need to apologize for?
No.
Okay.
But,
No,
I guess I'll apologize for
wasting
not
time today.
being around next week. Hopefully these two gentlemen do a great job next week.
Well, that'll be next week. So
We're gonna
thank
have
you
a
guys.
good time.
Yep. So thank you guys for watching or listening. Make sure you remember the Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test.